What's going on, YouTubers? Right now, I should be at the flea market unloading my truck, but Mother Nature is Mother Nature. Anyway, ECU's Finest, hosted by Mike. This video is about my thoughts on the whole Johnny Depp trial. This is probably one of the first trials I've actually sat down and intuitively and paid heed attention to since the O.J. Simpson trial. And that's saying a lot because there's been plenty of trials up here, but none of it has interest me as much. Excuse me. Now, I know a little bit about the celebrity scene because I've done armed work for some, and I've met some from others, and this, that, and the third. And I had a friend named, I'm just going to say Rob. I'm not going to say his last name. He worked for Michael Amata, which was a real prestigious acting agent. He even tried to get me a couple of gigs in the 90s. One was during the ironically, during the Power Ranger, right before they came out with the movie, they were looking for other individuals. And I met a lot of people at his agency because I spent a lot of time with my boy Rob, who was his assistant at the Michael Amata acting agency in the city. We're talking about eons ago, though. But and I've met a lot of people through him. Obviously, I've had so many pictures and craziness, but back then, my younger brother, which I have experience with, he used to, he used to do coke and smoke weed and all that shit. And at the time, my mom was always, in denial of that, and that caused a lot of conflict in the household because of that. And a lot of my stuff wound up missing, including autographs. And back then there were phones and pages. There wasn't no. Cell phones were just coming out, but you were probably spending close to $10 for 3 or 4 minutes roaming charges for phones back then, which I did have, by the way. But phones didn't have cameras, so when you have a phone now, you could do a selfie with somebody walking on the street. I probably came across so many people meeting from others and this, that, and the third. Excuse me. So I met my share of individuals. Excuse me. And being a person that have a lot of family members that were alcoholics, were into drugs, everything from dope to crack to coke, weed, cigarettes, alcohol. I had it all in my family. So I have my own issues with that kind of stuff because I've been personally touched by all of it in a negative way as well as positive. So I know how it is to deal with people from all scopes of life, but you still love them. And just because I didn't do that stuff didn't make me perfect or better than them. I was never the kind of person that judged individuals on what they do self-destructively or not in their life, because it is their life. All you could do is value and give your own opinions, because it's wrong to harm oneself. It's wrong to harm anybody that's not trying to harm you. That stuff is self-destructive. But Big Brother, the government, and everybody wants it out there. People always think, end the war on drugs. They don't want to end the war on it, because look how many DEA agents, ATF, these people wouldn't have jobs, they wouldn't have houses, they wouldn't have fucking careers, they wouldn't have salaries, they wouldn't be able to pay their kids tuitions and this, that, and the third. If the governments wanted to destroy all these big pieces of land where they know the drugs are, they can destroy them. They can get rid of all of it. If they want to stop, alcohol kills just as much, if not more people, and it alters more people's lives than a person that shoots up dope. That says a lot, considering that it's cheaper for somebody to sit there and shoot up dope and share the needle with somebody else than to sit there and become or go into your alcoholic rages. which is ironic considering that, companies like Budweiser, Guinness, all these people put, like alcohol. I mean, hello, you know what I mean? But because it's taxed, and because big corporations are pay legislators a lot of money and do all this stuff to have this stuff, which is ironic considering that back in the early 1900s, during a prohibition, it was illegal. The government deemed it illegal, but when they found a way to help unions and grease the wheels, and one side of the government I can't even say one side. It's two sides of the government. There's a sneaky discreetness, and then there's a straight up privileged, disgusting, perverted, sadistic side of it, and both sides are not good. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? What makes it good is the fact that, they pay taxes and they got bigger fish who help them keep from being fried, so to speak. And that's how it works. And that's why now they decided, fuck it, legalize marijuana. Marijuana never killed nobody. I don't condone any drug, any smoking of anything, because I personally just don't like that stuff. I have two children, like everybody else, who on occasion smoke weed. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. My daughter, she drinks. I mean, she drinks occasionally with friends. I don't like any of that neither. But hey, she was a college kid. I don't care or know what she did in college. I don't even darn on it. But we've had conversations, and we all make mistakes and done dumb shit in life. My kids know the two things I really can't tolerate is being lied to and drugs. I do consider marijuana, weed, what we want to call it, a drug. It is a gateway drug to me into other drugs. But but it's their life. If they go, I'm always gonna be there for them, but I will be there at a distance, because I wouldn't want you to desecrate me and or this home if you get into hard stuff when you know better. I'm always gonna be there for you as a parent, but I'm gonna be there with a long, lengthy arm, because at the end of the day, you knew better. I am a true believer in tough love, and I'm a true believer in people have to fall down on their face to get up themselves. I will hold you and help you for a certain period of time, but when you get a certain age, you gotta learn on your own. I think the best experience in life is experience, the good and bad. I could sit here and tell you don't do this, don't do that, but you know what? Sometimes if I tell you that and you still go out there and fall flat on your face a couple of times, guess what? Now you've learned. Like my daughter, she asked me one time, well, Dad, why you never stopped me from going? Well, I felt that if she felt she had to leave our house and under our rules so much to where she wanted to go away to college, that was going to cost us an arm and a leg, and so be it. If that's going to make you a better person, you had to learn that way, and so be it. And then, why after I graduated from college, why you didn't really, I didn't like the idea that nobody told me that she was leaving to go and live down in Georgia. But she wanted to pursue her career. She's still doing her thing. She works. She busts her ass. She's still into the fashion. She's getting linked up with a lot of famous people, a lot of fashion people, and she's getting there. And I wish her nothing but the best. And I felt that she should have got more on the singing thing, because my daughter can sing her ass off as well. But you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You gotta sit there and let people develop, and you gotta let them develop on their own. You know what I mean? And I've always been that parent. I've never been that parent that hold none of my kids back or any of that. I'm like, you know what? I feel like if somebody's gonna do something, they're gonna do it anyway. So you might as well be supportive and be there for them. And then when they keep falling down, you don't just sit there and say, "I told you so." They'll learn that. They'll learn that and be like, you know what? You did say it. Then that's when you come in and say something. That's me. You know what I mean? And sometimes I have to try to teach and tell my wife that too, because everybody think I'll be the one that's like real and I'm not. It's the wife. And I'm not just saying that to say that. She'll actually agree with me if she was up. And so will my kids. I've always been that kind of person that I'll sit there and let you get enough rope to hang yourself. And it's only a matter of time before I stop cutting that rope down. You have to figure out how to hang and then get yourself out of it. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to be there to yourself all the time. You can't be there all the time. You're not going to be around all the time. And I always teach that to my children, just like what goes on in America and how I feel about everything. everything I've discussed up here and more. I've always taught and told these to my children. And, I think over now, now me and my son Mike Jr., we have a better relationship. Because I do realize sometimes I did, and I do talk down to him. Out of anger because he was hard-headed. But then my mom and other people in my family is like, dude, that is a straight carbon copy of you. And I'm like, damn, I was an asshole as a kid, and I think he's kind of like rebellious, and he's a certain way because he's a carbon copy of me. Isaiah is more like a mix between me and my wife. Of course, now the older he's getting, he has more of anger issues, and he talks back a lot and stuff like that. And I tell him sometimes I have to give him a reality check, and I'm like, dude, you used to be such a sweet little kid. What the hell is going on with you? And I sit down and I talk to him. I always talk to all three of my kids, and I let them talk and listen, and then I've always been that parent, because I grew up getting my ass whooped. It was what I said, how I said it, and that was it. And I never wanted to be like that. I'm not gonna say it was right. I damn sure ain't gonna say it was wrong. I think if more parents whoop kids' asses now and do what they should do, and what you should do as a parent, a lot of these kids would be going around doing the things they do. Now, with that basically being said, getting to the whole Johnny Depp trial and situation, I look at Amber Heard's mother, her very distinctive aggression on just, she don't say much, but I'm a hood nigga. I'm from the hood. As a hood dude, we read body language. We know body language, and because you have to. That's how you survive. You know what I mean? And then you look at the fact that her father was a cokehead. Yeah, he snorted coke with Johnny. He talked shit about his own family, and he was abusive to the kids, and blah blah blah, this and that. And that says a lot about her and her sister, and a lot about the fact that their mother really didn't protect them. So maybe, and I don't think Amber Heard is the only person with these. She clearly has issues. She's up there with Kanye West. Like, they both got real fucked up, deep rooted, need to be hospitalized for 6 months. Fuck just a psych evaluation. They need to be hospitalized for a minute and be on some kind of medications, because they are fucking loony goo goo, bananas ass, fucking batshit crazy. And her sister's right behind her. I mean, I'm not want to degrade anybody, because I don't look like Brad Pitt. I look like a human damn gorilla with glasses and a beard. But it's all good. I got a beautiful wife, beautiful kids. I don't give a shit. I'm a man. I'm supposed to be ugly. But anyway, her sister looks like a weird looking man dressed in drag, trying to look like Sharon Stone, but at the same time have just a little hint of a human crab in the face. That's how her sister looks. You could tell her sister's like a real Amber Heard, damn, does, she looks like your average white girl. She's not really that glamorous. She's not that pretty to me. I think she's kind of funny looking. She looks like a middle-aged Russian whore. She has that real rough deep Russian woman look with the bag under her eyes. I don't think she's that attractive. I don't even think she has a regular average white girl body. She's just a couple of movies and whatever. But she damn sure looks 100% better. I mean, hell, she looks like Beyonce compared to her sister. And that says a lot, considering that they both are not attractive. Her sister's actually butt-ass ugly. She's a little better looking than her sister Whitney, but they both are not attractive. And then, and this sad to be ugly to the bone. Like, Amber Heard is just not attractive to me. And, when she first was going back and forth to court, she wasn't greeting or shaking hands to the sheriffs. I mean, you could tell that they wanted to keep their distance from her. Everybody was like very forthcoming with Johnny. Johnny always from the gate, he waved to everybody, shook hands, said good morning genuinely, because he's a genuinely good guy. My younger brother is a good guy. I mean, when he drinks, he's a piece of shit. I don't know if he still snorts or whatever. That's none of my business. Doesn't mean I love him less. You know what I mean? But he has his good attributes. Everybody has their shit. I have my shit. Everybody does something, and And nobody's perfect. Nothing on this earth is. Nothing on this earth is perfect. Perfect. Not the air, not the weather, not the earth, not the water, not the land, not the people, not the animals, not the insects. I can keep going on. Not the way houses are built. Everything breaks down. Not the cars, not the motorcycles, not the bicycles, not the skates, not the skateboards, not the rollerblades, not the clothing, not the skirts, not the blouses, not the sneakers, not the socks, not the underwear, not the soap. I'm hoping you guys get my drift here. Definitely not politics, law, religion, nothing. Only thing on earth is perfect is death, because that's the only thing that's 100% sure coming for everything and everybody, period. Everything has an expiration, and that's the only thing perfect on earth is the fact that everything's gonna be expired perfectly. It may be messy, but it's still gonna be executed perfectly, if you guys understand what I'm saying. Yeah, Johnny, I mean, a lot of people judge him. Oh, wow, I can't believe, he's into drugs, he's into alcohol. Man, half of Hollywood, including people behind the scenes that are into that shit, way more worse than him. I do understand the convenientness of people going up there and going in Johnny's corner. For years, this man's been acting for so long without any bad hiccups. I mean, I'm just hearing about the fact that he was always late to sets and this, that, and the third. But that doesn't really show the characteristics of him being a wife beater and a rapist. Being late and inconsiderate on site and snorting coke and drinking and whatever else he's done or do has nothing to do with making him a rapist and or an abuser. He's got some of the biggest names. I mean, come on. We all know Keanu Reeves is a very private, very cool, laid-back, down-to-earth dude. He's one of the most genuine individuals out there. Robert Downey Jr. spent time in prison. Y'all forget that. Robert Downey Jr. spent time in prison. Y'all forget that. Robert fucking Downey Jr. spent time in prison. He is an ex-fucking convict. Spent time in prison. He got locked up for drugs, got locked up for alcoholism and everything. This is a man that turned himself around. Society, put him even on a higher pedestal than he used to be. This man became a role model. He worked in a lot of Marvel films, starting with original Iron Man all the way up to Iron Man 3, then becoming part of the bigger Marvel family. From a regular independent Marvel film to being part of the Marvel Universe and the Avengers and other movies that made him a ridiculously star to be reckoned with. From Sherlock Holmes to everything. This is a man that was a co-star in U.S. Marshals. He was in a couple of other movies, Weird Science, and this is a guy that's been around the track just as long, if not even longer than Johnny Depp. Because Weird Science was early 80s. I think this is way before 21 Jump Street. And for all that time, the only thing you hear about Johnny Depp now is this Amber Heard bitch. And I'm going to call her exactly what the fuck she is. A bitch. I'm not going to say Johnny is innocent in all this, but I'm damn sure going to say that he needs to win this lawsuit to teach her and show an example for people out there that use that. Because let's face it, a lot of women, white, black, blue, Hispanic, whatever, they use what they got between their legs and the fact that, hey, I'm a woman. Everybody wants to be on equal terms until they're ready to fall victim. Once they ready to become victim, then all of a sudden, hey, women, I'm a woman, I'm delicate. Oh, you can lift weights and you could do the same thing another man can do and everything, but then you want to play the victim. And let's face it, not to be disrespectful to nobody, but listen, from my perspective and from a lot of other people I talk to and know, white women have this thing in them to where they always want to play victim. They always want to scream rape. They always want to be fucking privileged, and they always do this shit where they want to cry. I mean, it's fucking despicable. A lot of women do this, but come on, man. And I'm spitting straight facts. Whether you're white or not, whether you agree or not, they do this. Black women do a lot of sick shit too, but Amber Heard is not black. Amber Heard is not Hispanic. Amber Heard is not Asian. Amber Heard is not Native American. Amber Heard happens to be a Caucasian, mentally disturbed bitch, and that's why I'm bringing up these points. If she happened to be a woman of color, I would have brought those values up too about about how that particular race is, and the bad out of it. And she always wants attention. It's like everybody on her side that has contradiction stories that they keep getting caught in lies are all telling the truth, including her. Everybody else, people coming from all over the fucking world, sitting in their cars doing a deposition in their car on their way to work. Everybody's taking time out of their fucking schedule, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, to conspire against this dingbat bitch. Everybody, oh well, the Johnny show, bitch, you made it this show. You sat there in two other and one out of bias, out of bias, you know what I'm saying, out of people being biased, and just outright, utterly fucked up law that's put in place to this country. Everybody always sit there and say you're innocent until proven guilty. It's bullshit. You're always fucking guilty until proven innocent. And even when you're proven innocent, they still say you're guilty. That's how fucked up and hypocritical the law is. The law is so biased and so hypocritically fucked up that they even sit there and put that bullshit out there, knowing that they don't even believe in it themselves. They need to stop that innocent until proven guilty. There's no such thing, because if that's the case, then why they don't let you out until they can prove you're guilty? Then, you got people that's sitting up in Rikers Island and all over the fucking U.S. right now in court because somebody lied, or because some police officers or DAs have hidden agendas and they don't give a fuck about locking up an innocent person or not. They don't care. It's all about my track record. Hey, it's all about me keeping things the way it is. I can't have my impeccable record be tarnished by this one motherfucker or these two people. So and then it's funny how people get, like 10, 15, 20 years later, they get out of prison, 35 years later, and then they say, oh, well, we may find a way to compensate you, but the lawsuit's going to be iffy because you were found guilty from a jury of your peers. Yeah, because, the system lied. The system manipulated and did shit to cause this. And because mass majority of people that are found innocent mass majority of them are all minorities, because the system is set up and corrupt. The system is set up to have you, knowing that a lot of people can't afford attorneys and shit, knowing that the DAs don't give a fuck, the people versus you don't give a fuck, and even if you have a record or not, that all plays against you just because of your skin color and because of the crime, and they'll find whatever, bias and fucked up jurors there are just to convict you just because you look like a criminal, and or because your skin color is too dark, and or because of your past. Just because somebody did things in the past don't mean that that you should, you got to judge each and every individual on the now. Not on what they've done in the past. If they already paid their dues to society for that, leave that mofo alone and let it be. And I think that's the reason why this whole case with Johnny Depp got where it was. And it's like he lost a lot of money because this manipulative, ugly ass, fucking middle-aged Russian looking whore decided to sit there and do this sick shit. Her and her entourage of assholes. And now it backfired on her, and now she want to sit there and try to cry and play victim. The bitch is mentally fucked up in the head. She was probably sexually assaulted by her father, and or because she was abused and got her ugly ass, tranny stone looking crab faced sister. Let's face it, her sister's envious of her because she's in the spotlight. She married and was fucking Johnny Depp and James Franco and so many other people, and her sister has money. She doesn't have anything. She's a nobody. She looks in the mirror and see a half ugly, another mentally disturbed bitch as well. So of course she gotta, she gotta kiss her sister's ass because, hey, this is what I gotta do to be in. I'm envious of her. I live in my sister's shadow. My sister has this and that, but they both got mental issues because look where they grew up. Look how they grew up. You can tell their mom is mentally fucking scarred as well as they are. And that's why she would never, people like that, these narcissists, man. She's a narcissist. And not only is she a borderline, you can tell the bitch got mental issues, man. There's something mentally fucking wrong with Amber Heard. You know what I'm saying? And people like that, they are extremely sexually active. I mean, I won't be surprised if that stink ass bitch, wind up in porn. Because she's gonna have to figure out a way to pay Johnny. There's no way on God's green earth this man should lose this lawsuit. He done lost so many things over the years. 6 years of agonizing hell. This man's a good devoted father. He's a good devoted friend. Going back to the Keanu Reeves thing, everybody knows Keanu Reeves is a very legitimate, straightforward individual. You can't find no dirt on Keanu. And Keanu, this is a man that even when he goes into the city, New York City, he rides the fucking subway. You don't see him in limos. He stops and shakes hands with people. He greets people. He handles pressure very well. You don't hear anything about him. And, he's a good friend of Robbie Downey Jr. and even a closer friend to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp been in this scene for how many decades? And you're just hearing something about him because of this manipulative, stink-ass, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, ugly-ass, fucking smelly pussy whore decides to sit there and drag him in the fucking mud. And now, finally, the fucking the light is shining in the right direction. And she doesn't like it because, she's living in his shadow. She's jealous and envious of him because he makes money. Even when they go out, he's recognized and loved and she's not. That's what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? I think she was just using him as a career option. Hey, you don't, what I'm saying? A whore could be in many shapes and forms. You don't have to just, be an escort or walk the damn street corner, to get in somebody's car and do what needs to be done to get your drug habit. You can sit there and marry a person and be a whore for years just so you can get up in a ladder. That happens all the time. And she's fucking prime example of that. That's what I think. Doesn't make him a bad person because he cursed and he said certain hurtful things. That's the whole point of having an argument. If you're going to have an argument with somebody, the whole point is to be aggressive and to say shit out your face because that's what you do. Either that or you smash somebody's face in. Even his exes came forward and was like, nah, he was never like that. So, what does that tell you? And these are his exes, and everybody said nothing's worse than a woman scorned, right? So, he has a good rapport and a good relationship with his children. That says a lot. He has a decent rapport with his exes. That says a lot. Everybody who came forward, people from all over the fucking world came forward. They came forward to support the truth. Not about it just being Johnny Depp and he's a genuine guy. It was all about the truth under oath. And you're talking to a conspiracy theorist. You're talking to somebody that don't believe in the justice system or don't believe in the system. But I believe in right and wrong, and I believe in straight facts and common sense. And there's nothing common and no sense in Amber Heard, her team, her lawyers, nobody. You know what? When you lie, the truth always comes out. And Johnny, he manned up for his shit. A lot of the stuff that went on and how it went on because it was public is embarrassing. It was embarrassing for me to hear and watch because, sometimes when you deal with the famous and people that do so much, you idolize them. And then it's embarrassing for you because you never knew this about the person. But then it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, the guy was still sweet. He took time out of his schedule to do for people, kids. This man done brought coats for staff. He done sat there and even somebody just, they had it. The daughter was in a fucking coma. I remember this from years ago. And I think, was it a daughter or son? Anyway, the child was in a coma for months. They got into a car accident, I think 6 months or 5 months or something like that. Somewhere between 4 and 6 months. And he actually recorded in Jack Sparrow's voice, and they played it every day. And the girl woke up. The girl or boy? I think it was a girl, though. Woke up out of the coma. And that may have had a lot to do with it. I don't know. I don't care. I just know that he didn't have to do that. I know a lot of actors and actresses wouldn't even touch that with a 50-yard pole. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things this man does. He goes in and out of anywhere he goes. He signs autographs for people, even against his security's advisement. If he's late or he's trying to get somewhere or from somewhere, he does that. Robert Downey Jr. is known for doing that. Keanu Reeves, come on, man, he does it a lot. Birds of a feather flock together. You understand? And like I said, Robert Downey Jr. he had problems with cocaine and alcoholism, I believe, as well, and a lot of that caused him to spend some time in jail, and he learned from that, and he was a huge supporter of Johnny Depp because come on, when you got all the Hollywood people saying you're genuine, you got people like I'm about to say Reverend Al Sharpton. When you got people like Al Pacino, I mean, you got big name people that has nothing but nice things to say about Johnny Depp. And this stink ass bitch come up, and now all of a sudden, out of all these trials, now her little fishy mayonnaise and egg smelling, stink little funky pink pussied ass want to turn around and say that he done inserted a bottle into her. He been doing all this shit. Like, why would you marry somebody if this man did this shit to you in the first year before you even got married? Like, the bitch is a lying little stink ass whore. And I'm glad this is coming to light. I hope that she deserved to get every fucking thing negative coming toward her way. You know what I'm saying? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, I don't know what the jury's going to come back and say. I hope there are some members of the jury that don't listen to the judge. I mean, at the end of it, everybody on that panel know Johnny Depp. People know enough to know that this bitch is lying and know that, this guy's genuinely a nice guy, whether he's drinking or not. He's a genuinely nice guy. Most of his friendships lasted decades. You know what I'm saying? There was a hiccup or two here and there, but most of his friendships lasted decades. This is a man that's done a lot for people. This is a man that been through domestic abuse as a child growing up, dealing with his mom. This is a man that has a lot of family, friends, employees, ex-employees, who come forward and spit the truth. Not spit the Johnny show, what Johnny wants. He's paying us under the table, but the truth about the fact that everybody know about Amber Heard. All the evidence shows that she committed perjury along with her other family members and so-called people. She had ex-friends and ex-employees and assistants come forward and spit the truth about her. And like Camille Vasquez said, everybody's lying. Everybody's committing a conspiracy against her. Let me tell you something about people with borderline personalities and people that are, narcissism or narcissists. Excuse me. Everything's about them. Everything's against them. And everything they do and say is legit, and everything else around them has no meaning, no say so, no nothing. And all I know about people with bipolar and people like that is they are very sexually, even more heightenedly sexually active. Their whole balance is off. Everything about them is off, and it's a red flag to stay the fuck away from that person. Leave that person be. This girl should be in the same ward as Kanye West and her sister, Whitney Sharon Stone Crabman. Because that's what her sister looks like. Her sister looks like a funny looking, skinny white guy, dresses in drag, trying to look like Sharon Stone, and kind of looks like a little bit of a human crab at the same time. Like, look at her face. The bitch is butt ass ugly. I seen dope fiend white girls in the street look better than her sister. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just calling it for what the fuck it is. I always been up here to come up here and spit the truth and call a spade a spade. I don't filter for nothing. I'm not on the Johnny bandwagon. I always been a fan of Johnny Depp, and I'm talking about Johnny Depp from 21 Jump Street. And every time I look on YouTube and shit, or people I know who know him or know his people or whatever, always just said this is a fucking genuinely nice guy. I sit here sometimes if I'm in a mood to cry or I'm just emotional. I sit here and I look at YouTube videos of this guy going to, the things he do in hospitals for kids. And kids are kids. Kids are innocent. I don't give a fuck what race you are. I don't care if they grew up around racist families or whatever. A child is innocent and children are children. They should be protected because I'm a father. I'm an uncle. You know what I'm saying? And I always grew up liking kids. what the fuck? I'm a big ass fucking kid, man. What? Like, come on, man. I'm a big ass fucking child. I'm a man child. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. My childhood. Shit I love. I'm on Johnny's bandwagon because he's a genuinely nice guy. And I love the Nightmare on Elm Street, 21 Jump Street, Donnie Brasco, Johnny Depp. I don't really watch Pirates of the Caribbean because I think I watched 2 of them, and his character was nice. It was funny. I to be honest, I really didn't like the Jack Sparrow character. To be honest, I just thought he was too much of a nuisance. It was all over the place. He kind of reminded, even though he was the main character, he kind of reminded me of Jar Jar Binks. It was like it was just too much distraction, and it was just too much there, and I just didn't really, I really didn't like his character. But I love Johnny Depp, and it's funny because when you think of all the support, people know who a lot of people know who Johnny Depp, especially children, because of the Jack Sparrow character, which is what grows him to be as big as a star as he is, which is ironic considering that that's his least favorite. That's my least favorite character that he ever played. But I am a huge fan of him. I mean, I go, like I said, I go way back to, I say jump, boom, I say jump, 21 Jump Street, bro. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Hanson, man. You know what I mean? Hanson and his partner, Pinhole. You know what I'm saying? Which is Don DeLuise's son, character. I mean, who didn't like 21 Jump Street back in the day, man? I mean, that was a dope ass show. Dudes that look like dudes and girls that look like high school kids that were actually cops. It was a good drama show. I mean, later on the show just went somewhere else. Especially like the later seasons, like it just got crazy. But like the first 2 seasons, I really enjoyed it, just like everybody else. But anyway, I'm not a person that's starstruck. I'm a person that loves stars, and I like meeting anybody and everybody, especially if they're genuine people, and I like them as actors, singers, or rappers, boxers, or whatever. If I get a chance to shake a person's hand and they show me the same love and appreciation, even if it's for a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds, that's all that matters to me. Because at the end of the day, all you have in life is memories, and I always prefer to leave this earth knowing that I had, and I left a more positive meaning than a negative. And that's my narrative up here. Even though I come across as this badass, angry black brother, it's far from the truth, man. A lot of people just don't understand me and don't know me from Adam. Don't know a damn thing about me. And then they wonder why I have friendships just as long as Johnny and stuff like that. Because, real niggas know real niggas. You know what I'm saying? And I don't just mean that as in a black term. I just mean that as I have a lot of friends that I have for a long time, and sometimes we get into arguments, and I got my boy, he's more my brother, my family, he is my best friend. This is a guy that we consult each other, and his name is Russell. You guys gonna see him one day, and when people see us, they think that we're related, and we are. That's my heart, man. And this is a guy that I would not only go to the gates of hell with, but I would go for. Like, this is my nigga, man, and he's just like me, a no-tolerant bullshitter. He don't like bullshit. I mean, he's a lot more conservative than I ever will be, but if you piss him off, he can be worse than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's my dude. Like, that's my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of my vessels, like my 2 sons, when I think of men in my life. I put him I even put him more of a brother than my brother that passed away. Because even though, like, me and my brothers, like, we're different paths. They have different friends I never liked, and they've done and do things that not my cup of tea and stuff. So I've always been estranged from them because they were more into the streets, and I was always the outcast in my family, period. I'm talking about even from aunts, uncles, cousins, because I went a whole completely path than everybody else. I was always weird because I was still a dude that played with toys. I like video games. I hung around the kids. I played with the kids. I was into martial arts growing up, law enforcement, just so much shit considering what they were into. And I was always different. And even in today's age, I'm just, it's just different. You know what I mean? And I'm cool with that. I got no qualms with it. It is what it is. It made me who I am. And I always been that kind of person that been myself. Always will be myself until the day I close my eyes for good. You know what I'm saying? I just hope my children pass on that torch and be themselves too. And hopefully I can meet my grandkids, if I have any, before I leave this earth. And hopefully they'll be old enough to learn a little bit from grandpa and pass on that torch along with their folks. You know what I mean? That's all you can hope for as a human being. Maybe even long enough to be around for great grands. You know what I'm saying? But not bad from a guy who suffered from bone cancer and in remission. knock on wood, and a guy who could have died like 2 or 3 days later. I mean, I went to the hospital with 577 sugar, and that's how I found out I was diabetic. You know what I mean? And to survive that, to lose all that weight, to get on a healthier track, it's just like I always had a high pain threshold, and I think I'm mentally stable, very mentally strong, spiritually strong as just a person, not spiritually strong as a religious person. You guys already know how I feel about that religion nonsense. But getting back to the whole Johnny Depp thing, everything I said in this video has a lot to do with, I'm thinking I got a baseball cap on, has a lot to do with my thoughts on and why this whole thing with Johnny Depp. I just think he's a genuinely nice guy. He's done and made a lot of mistakes in life like we all have. Just because, ours didn't be public, don't lie to yourself. We've all done some fucked up shit in life. Everybody. Whether you took something you wasn't supposed to, and I'm talking about property, or whether you snorted something, swallowed something, drunk shit you shouldn't, shot up something, or whatever you've done in life. We've all done horrific things in life, or some real fucked up things. Everybody. Whether you want to admit it or not, we all have. There's no such, oh no, not me. Yeah, you've done something. It may not have been drug or alcohol related, but we all have done shit. Whether it's a small lie, a big lie, you stole something, you took something, you didn't think that somebody would admit anything. It's still unethical either way you look at it. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a fucked up person or a selfish person. It makes you a person that did and made a mistake. And Johnny made his share of mistakes, and he came up here and talked about it. Not only because it was going to be put out there, but because it's just the smartest thing to do. And sometimes the better way to learn from shit is to admit it, go along with it, and better yourself so it won't repeat itself. And that's what needs to happen. And in this case, it was a smart thing to do, and I'm glad that it got this far. And he needs to be, if I was him, I wouldn't work with Disney no more. There's a lot of companies I would not work for again. I don't give a damn what they pay. I would tell them, go fuck yourselves, and hopefully he get back on track, and he get a lot of other money, movie offers, and this would die down, and then everybody would sit there and say, you know what, yeah, that bitch is a liar, and I hope it fucks her career up. Hope the only thing that stink bitch get is some STDs and some of them damn X-rated movies. I don't watch the movies anyway, so I wouldn't see her stinky. It ain't nothing about her stink little bony funky ass I would want to see anyway. I didn't even like her in Aquaman. I didn't like her at all. I mean, to me, her character had no basis anyway. Like, I did see Aquaman, and the characters I liked in Aquaman was Boba Fett's character, the brother who played Aquaman's father. Of course, Jason Momoa, which was Aquaman, and of course my man William Dafoe. I love William Dafoe all the way back through Platoon. That's my dude, man. And those are the characters I cared about. I don't care about no Mara. I mean, I thought she was funny looking and funny shaped in Aquaman anyway, with that stupid looking red hair and all. I just did not like her character, and this is way before any of this came out. And I didn't even know she was married. I didn't even know that was the one. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that was the one that was married to Johnny Depp. I had to do research on it. Darn it, try to realize who the hell she was anyway. So maybe that's even more the reason why she feel the way she doing stuff. But anyway, Johnny, my dude, I hope you win, man. You already won. You won the hearts of everybody. You see all the support you got out there, brother. Hopefully you get that $50 million. But even if you do, how the hell is she going to pay for it? She don't got that kind of money. You can't trust a lying, manipulative cunt, especially if this bitch is gonna turn around and she couldn't even give the money that she. This is going to show the kind of person she is. She lied about his children. His children didn't lie. Let me tell you something. When animals, the elderly, and children don't like. Let me tell you about those three. Children, elderly people, and animals. When they don't like a person, that says a lot about a person. I'm going to end it with that. Amber Turd, shame on you and your pathetic ass attempt to think you was going to win this one. And to Johnny Depp, you know what I'm saying, nothing but Godspeed to you, brother. I hope, you already won. Like I said, after this is done and over with, you already won, brother. The truth came out, and everybody's going to see it for what it is. And I just hope that the jury comes back and just be like, yeah, we award him. You know what I mean? The sad thing about it is him being a plaintiff, he does, he does have to prove without the benefit of doubt his case. That's the problem with being a plaintiff versus a defendant. A defendant does not really have to show any proof of burden. It's always up to the plaintiff. You know what I mean? And but the proof is there. Thank God for that. The proof is there, so that's a good thing. And this is a different type of trial versus what he went through in Australia and the divorce and other shit. So you know what I mean? And he voluntarily gave the money. And he's like, fuck it, it's gonna go to a good cause. And then she told me she didn't want anything. She wanted that money because her broke bum ass family needed it. You know what I'm saying? She's a nobody. She's getting what, $1.5 million from Aquaman, and then like the same price for Aquaman 2. So that $7 million. Why would she not want that $7 million? She wasn't making nowhere near that. I don't even know how she's gonna be able to pay this money, winning if he wins this lawsuit. I just think the biggest thing to him, he still has bread. He still has more than she does, and hopefully, you know what I'm saying, this will put him back on track. I mean, hopefully he got that thing coming up with Sherlock Holmes 3 with Robert Downey Jr. Robert's gonna be there for him, and he wants to put him in a film, and maybe that will put him back on roll. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, he's an older white guy. He's a nice looking dude. He looks a hell of a lot better than her. So, again, she's just jealous and mad because his children are beautiful. He's a beautiful person. And she's ugly to the fucking bone. So, Johnny Depp, man, Godspeed to you, brother. I hope you win. Peace.